What's going on, YouTube? When it comes to large, full-size SUVs, everyone wants a slice of the pie, and recently the segment has been red hot with either fully redesigned or refreshed options galore. Two of the most popular options for Americans have long been the Chevy Tahoe and Ford Expedition, and their rivalry is getting even more intense this year. Chevy just extensively refreshed the Tahoe, giving it the latest and greatest tech, and the all-new Expedition is finally arriving at dealerships, promising better luxury and family-friendly features than ever before. But which American heavyweight pulls it off best for your family? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now before we get into it, let's discuss the pricing and equipment levels. You might have some initial sticker shock when looking at either of these two, so let's start with the all-new Expedition. In its fully loaded trim, called the Platinum Ultimate, we sit just a little under 90 grand. That may sound expensive, and it certainly is, but with the extra tech and luxury this year, Chevy raised the Tahoe's price to a new level. After all the options to make them equivalent, our total price is over $95,000 for the first time. Obviously, both models can be had in much less expensive trims, starting around $60,000. By the way, if you want to get the best price from local dealerships and access to invoice pricing info for these two models or any vehicle, we have a tool on our website to do just that. It's quite helpful when shopping, so check the link in the description for more info. If you haven't seen one of our comparisons in the past, they are conducted in an objective way. We've done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories, and at the end, we'll discuss that pricing difference in the value section, as well as look at resale and reliability. Let's get into it. Now, it wouldn't be a true full-size American SUV without a bold and flashy exterior design, and that's certainly the case with these two. They have serious presence, and in their fully loaded high country and platinum trim levels, go for a gloss black and chrome grille, with many intricate details. If you want more chrome, certain trims will do that for you. And as far as lighting is concerned, they have premium setups. Tahoe gets new full LED projector headlights that even have fancy animations and dynamic turn signals, while Ford sticks to just reflector LEDs with no animation. Furthermore, this version of the Expedition does not include fog lights like the Tahoe. Heading to the sides, both have big boxy shapes as expected, and lengthwise are massive. Expedition is about an inch shorter than the Tahoe, but stick around to see how the interior and cargo space stack up. Both additionally offer extended wheelbase versions to add even more space for those in need. Now onto the wheels. Their huge dimensions mean that both models can accommodate ridiculously big alloy wheels, 24 inches to be exact. That's about as large as it can get in the auto industry, and is a new feature for both SUVs this year. For those concerned about ride quality, we'll certainly be discussing that later on in the driving portion of this comparison. Moving on to their rear designs, they have quite a bit of styling differences. Expedition goes the bolder route, with a fully blacked out upper tailgate, regardless of the exterior color. For features, they have fully LED taillights and hidden wipers, and only the Chevy has exposed exhaust tips. Towing is impressive on both, but the Expedition handles a significant 17% more, with 9,600 pounds as compared to 8,100 pounds in the Tahoe. Now, moving past the designs, both SUVs are loaded with features, like mirrors that heat, fold, automatically dim, and include blind spot monitoring. And as far as all the other safety features, both give you every active safety feature as standard equipment for 2025. Beyond that, they additionally include very advanced hands-free assistants called Super Cruise and Blue Cruise respectively. These allow for easy road tripping, and while we still give Super Cruise the slight edge for supporting more non-highways and having the feature of auto lane change, the difference is closer than ever for the newest Blue Cruise version. Next up, we have the warranties, where they have the same coverage besides for the Chevy including a complimentary service visit. Anyway, that's the end of the exterior comparison, so now let's check out the interiors, which will likely leave you shocked. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16.
We started young, and since then we have reviewed over 2,000 vehicles at every price point. No matter what you're looking for, from humble to high-end, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars.
So walking up to the vehicles, both are obviously going to have smart entry systems with remote start built in. However, it's only the Expedition that includes sensors behind the handle to unlock. And once you open up the doors and the power deploying running boards pop out, you'll be blown away by the latest and greatest technology and luxury each brand is offering. They have radically different overall design themes, with the Tahoe going for an upscale country design and the Expedition an urban chic design. As far as the seats themselves, they are both heated and ventilated with memory functions. They are also wrapped in premium leather and have the same number of adjustments, besides for the Expedition additionally including power massage. That's something that General Motors reserves for only the Yukon and Escalade. Now, as far as the broader interior materials, both dress to impress and have appointments more in common to luxury nameplates. Across both upper and middle dashboards, you'll find leatherette coverings, real wood accents, and stitching patterns that break up the space. The Tahoe has a bit more extensive use of wood trim and more realistic feeling leatherette, so we'll award it a half-point advantage. After we fire up their big engines, you will find full digital gauge clusters on both. They certainly have gone for completely different approaches here though, with the Tahoe measuring at 11 inches compared to the Ford's massive 24-inch panoramic display. This screen is pushed way back close to the windshield and displays tons of information, including Google Maps. Now what's the con of that? Well, because of the Expedition's gauge placement, it's only the Tahoe that has a large 15-inch head-up display. Of course, it pretty much goes without saying that both have heated, leather-wrapped steering wheels with power adjustment and rain-sensing wipers. However, it's only the Expedition that includes power-adjusting pedals as well. Now, the next major area to evaluate is interior storage, where even the biggest family will be more than impressed. In both SUVs, when we put them through our signature donut test to check the console volume, they swallowed up our maximum rating of 24 donuts. In front of that, they have large storage bins with wireless phone chargers. And we're not done yet. New to the Expedition, and something Tahoe has had for years, is the sliding console. While Ford and Chevy's implementations are slightly different, both consoles now slide to allow you a perfect spot for handbags or snacks on family road trips. Because of all that storage, both have moved to electronic style shifters out of the way. When in reverse, these big SUVs have plenty of cameras to keep you from hitting things, standard on all trim levels. That will include your 360-degree view plus parking sensors. For climate, they have 3-zone automatic setups, and the Chevy includes physical knobs to control important functions like the temperature. That's a bit easier to do while driving compared to the all-digital Expedition. Despite that, both have physical volume knobs, so let's give the audio systems a sample. Here is another area where we have a big difference. Expedition includes a very high-end sound system, 22 speakers to be exact, which is more than double the speaker count of the Tahoe. Simply put, General Motors reserves the high-end sound systems for the Yukon and Escalade, so you'll get the much better audio experience with the Ford Expedition. Now, moving on to the screens. These are big center points of the interiors, to say the least. The all-new Expedition has the aforementioned 24-inch panoramic display, and a closer 13.2-inch screen that you can touch. That's not quite as large as the 17.7-inch main display standard on all trims of the Tahoe. Past the sizing, both have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, plus Google built in, which allows for things like Google Maps natively in the system. Overall, both systems are nice and responsive and work well. Ending the front areas, surprisingly, only the Tahoe has a rear camera mirror, while both of them have large panoramic moonroofs. But since these are giant 3-row SUVs, there is still a lot to talk about in the back areas of the cabin. Here, they are nearly identical in terms of both leg and headroom. And as far as features, they are also largely the same. They have their own climate controls, heated back seats, USB ports, and household power outlets. Neither have sunshades, but it's only the Tahoe that includes a rear seat entertainment system. That gives you these large dual screens for keeping the kids entertained, while Ford is only offering a device holder for this new generation. Moving on to the next row of seats, we once again find some very practical and spacious seating for the fam.
Getting into the Expedition's third row is easier though, since its tilt and sliding system means it wouldn't have to remove a child seat.
They come in as some of the largest third rows money can buy. And while the Expedition does have a 4.4% legroom advantage, that's not quite enough to score a point. As you sit back there, you'll also be spoiled with features, such as USB ports, rear vents, and the ability to recline your seat for extra comfort in the Ford. But now it's time to evaluate perhaps one of the biggest areas of distinction between these two SUVs, the cargo areas. That starts before the tailgates even hands-free open, since the Expedition now includes a split tailgate design. That makes sure that things like groceries don't roll out if you're parked on a hill. And Ford has actually went several steps further to make the new Expedition really good at tailgates and family functions. Underneath of the floor, all models have a multi-purpose piece that acts as a backrest for setting, a shelf for groceries, or even a table for tailgating. All that poses some serious advantages for those who frequently tailgate or use their vehicle to camp. That being said, Tahoe fights back with glass that pops independently from the tailgate itself. Finally, let's talk about the cargo space. Expedition does still come in a bit smaller than the Tahoe for this new generation, with about 10% less space behind the third row and about 12% as a maximum. Both are huge though, and also they do offer that extended wheelbase version for extra capacity that we mentioned earlier. For features, they both have power folding third rows, electronic folding second rows, and full-size spare tires. Speaking of folding though, the Expedition is now including a 40-20-40 split folding third row, which allows for the maximum seating capacity while hauling long objects. But it's still a very tight race, so now let's take them out on the road. Now these two have been very different throughout this video, so it shouldn't be surprising that it applies even more so out on the road. For engines, the Tahoe stays with the tried and true 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine on the high country, making 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. The Ford, on the other hand, opted for a twin-turbo V6 several years back. That'll continue this year, and it delivers stellar numbers that exceed the Tahoe, 440 horsepower and a whopping 510 pound-feet of torque. That power difference can be felt out on the road.
Whew. Alright, that was taking us up to 60 miles an hour, and we were going uphill as well. So like we were talking about with the spec dump, one of the things that's actually not too changed versus the previous generation is the powertrain situation. We still got the 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged EcoBoost V6. That is what you'll have across all of the trim levels, no matter which one you choose. But there's two outputs, 440 horsepower on this. The regular version gets 400 horsepower. But regardless, you might notice that compared to the Tahoe, for example, the biggest competitor to this vehicle, that model does have significantly less on the base end. And that's 60 miles an hour. You gotta love it. So, by the sound of it, I can imagine you guys realize that it is not a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. This is a V8. So, of course, the trend really across the entire auto industry, no matter what segment we're talking about, is really just been downsizing a lot of the engine options. And it's becoming pretty rare to find just that naturally aspirated V8.
As far as the transmissions are concerned, both have 10-speed automatic transmissions that are nice and responsive, and power is put to the ground via 4-wheel drive systems.
Now, as far as the other element of the powertrain, that is a 10-speed automatic transmission. This is a transmission Ford has been using through a lot of their products in recent years, and we've always had pretty good things to say about it. Even though you got 10 gears, it's not confused or anything like that. As soon as you need that extra power, you put your foot down, it can go ahead and pick the gear, even if it has to drop multiple gears at once. Now, as far as the other element of the powertrain, we also have a 10-speed automatic transmission. It's the same as last year. It's still a very smooth transmission overall.
But perhaps as important as power is ride quality. As you saw on the outside, these two trucks are rocking massive 24-inch alloys, which normally would mean that you have terrible ride quality. That being said, both brands have worked hard to make the ride feel more in common with a luxury vehicle than anything else, since they have adaptive dampers, and in the case of the Tahoe, a full air suspension. Because of that, the Tahoe does ride better than the Expedition. But Ford has made the difference in this new generation not nearly as noticeable as the prior generation.
How does it ride? And we've been spending this entire afternoon with this Tahoe with the 24-inch alloy wheels on the outside. And I have to say, the ride quality we found to be pretty good. Now, I say pretty good, and I'm going to explain that a little bit here in just a second, but the fact that we have pretty good ride with 24-inch alloy wheels is exceptionally impressive, and the reason for that is because we have a magnetic ride control system here on the High Country. We also have the available air suspension as tested today, so those two systems working in combination really do give you very good ride quality, even despite those absolutely massive wheels on the outside. All right, and I think it's also time for us to talk about ride quality, because I think that's one of the biggest question marks we had going into this Expedition review, was how is it going to ride with those big 24-inch alloy wheels on the outside. And I have to say, I think both Drew and I are very pleasantly surprised.
As far as sound insulation, here at Car Confections, we test every car we review at 55 miles an hour to find out how quiet they are. Both come in at good figures, although the Expedition excels and is the #1 quietest SUV in the entire full-size segment. The average human ear can hear a 1 decibel difference, and it comes in nearly 2 decibels quieter than the also quiet Tahoe tested on the same road.
.4 decibels is what we have settled in at. Wow, that is very good, guys. 52.8 decibels is our official Kentucky Sound Level reading.
Finally, when it comes to fuel economy, the V6 powered Expedition takes the lead. It comes in 2 mpg combined better than the V8 Tahoe, which will make a significant difference over the lifetime of owning these two. However, there is one wild card, and that's that the Tahoe offers an efficient diesel option. In our reviews and comparisons, we're also adding in reliability and resale information to give you a better picture of overall value beyond just the original MSRP. Beginning with reliability, we developed the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account several studies from trustworthy sources and combines them in a way that gives you a more realistic picture. In this respect, these two do pretty well. Chevy is one of the highest vehicle brands at 14 slots above industry average, giving it plus 1.4 points. While Ford is also above average, 5 slots to be exact, giving it plus 0.5 points. Keep in mind, these are brand-wide values, and don't reflect the most recent recalls. We also put Mason's economics degree to work to develop a detailed predicted resale value tool. After 5 years and 60,000 miles, both do pretty well. The Ford comes in at a predicted resale percentage of 48.8%, and the Chevy at 54.7%. That roughly 6% difference will give the Tahoe plus 0.6 points. Resale is obviously important because it determines how much money you get back, but we can't forget about the price difference at the original purchase. There is a $5,610 difference between the two of them, which gives 1.5 points to the Expedition. I want to emphasize that if money, reliability, or resale value matter less to you personally, feel free to disregard these points. And if you'd like to check out all our data about reliability and resale values, as well as learn about our methodology, make sure to head to carconfections.com/resale and /reliability. Buying a car is a big decision, and this is a great place to compare all the makes that you might be cross-shopping.
That's it for another exciting comparison between the King Tahoe and the all-new Expedition. Let's quickly recap here and discuss which one should be your personal winner, though, based on most important characteristics to you. Well, the Expedition is definitely going to be the best choice if you're looking for the extra luxury features. So above the Tahoe, you get some special touches, such as the massaging front seats, as well as the Bang & Olufsen sound system with more than twice the number of speakers. You also have an enhanced powertrain, which has more power, more torque, better fuel economy, and also more towing. And then your split tailgate design, if that is something useful to you for tailgating, you got that on the Expedition.
And on the flip side, you should pick the Tahoe if you want the bigger cargo capacity. It is bigger than the Expedition, even if just by a little bit. The drive experience as well. If you like the V8 engine, I certainly do like a naturally aspirated V8. You will find that on the Tahoe, not available on the Expedition. You're also going to have an air suspension with magnetic ride control that still rides better than the Expedition. Additionally, it's going to have a little bit more of a traditional interior feel. You're not going to have that panoramic display or whatever. It is still very high tech, but it's a little bit more traditional and easier to get used to. Now, we want to know your thoughts down below. Are you taking the Tahoe or are you taking the all-new Expedition? Let us know your thoughts. If you're looking to buy either one of these SUVs or any new vehicle, we also would like to encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that's going to be where we wrap up this comparison. If you enjoyed watching this, we'd encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get more comparisons like this. You're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We do a lot of cool car reviews. I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. You make this all possible, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.